Hello and welcome to the MHR podcast. I'm Andy and today I'm joined by Kay. Hi Kate.
Hiya.
Welcome to the podcast. Your first time in the podcast studio. How's it feeling?
It's good, it's exciting.
It's exciting to have you here. So really glad you can join us today because we're talking about all things payroll. Specifically that next week, as this podcast comes out, from the 2nd of September, it's CIPP's National Payroll Week.
Yeah, that's correct, it is.
What does it cover? What's it about? Why do we celebrate it?
So the CIPP celebrate National Payroll Week every year. This year the theme is Choose Payroll, and it's all around how a lot of people who find themselves working in payroll didn't plan to be in payroll. It's often a career that people sort of just fell into, didn't have that as their aspiration when they were younger. So the CIPP are trying to remodel that and show all the reasons why payroll is a fantastic career choice and one that people should be proud to work for.
Great, and I think in honour of that and to support National Payroll Week, MHR are doing their own PayFest 2024, right? So I thought we could talk about that as well if you don't mind, because we're quite passionate about payroll here. We know a lot of people are in that world, and we work with a huge raft of payroll professionals, both with the products that we do, but also as a function within our own company. To celebrate that, we're hosting a week of online webinars, podcasts, just celebrating all things payroll, HR, technology. Could you tell us more about what PayFest covers?
Yeah, definitely. So as you said, PayFest is a week-long online festival. We've got 12 different webinars going out as part of that festival. They're our headliners for the week. And they cover everything. So as you said, payroll it touches many points within a business. So the topics that we cover are everything from financial well-being and cybersecurity through to AI and some predictions for what payroll is going to look like in the future.
Okay, so and on top of that, we're releasing some guides as well.
Yep, so there's the webinars that people can watch. Some of them are live as well, so we'd love people to get involved and submit questions throughout those webinars and panel discussions. But then there's also downloadable content that people will be able to take away with them and keep. There's some how-to guides that people can work through to implement stuff within their own business.
Nice. One of the things that I thought we could talk about, because we are, like you say, we're hosting loads of webinars. Some of them are live, a lot of them are live actually, and there's going to be Q&A. So we kind of want everyone to be a part of that, right? We're talking about payroll, we're talking to and about payroll professionals, but we want the whole of the business to recognise the contribution that team and that function makes. Is that right? Yeah,
that's absolutely correct, and that's why we've chosen such a diverse range of topics. So it's not just for people who work in the payroll department, but there's stuff that anybody in any department will enjoy and find useful.
And what's been really exciting, because we've been having interviews with people before the festival about what they're going to cover, is that everyone seems to say the same. You know, payroll is really a backbone of an organisation. It's why you go to work. It's, you know, you get paid. Getting that right is a fundamental core part of that. So celebrating that function, celebrating where it's going and how it's kind of transforming is really, really interesting. On top of that, one of the headline pieces that we're releasing is an actual payroll research report. What is that? What does it cover?
So payroll research reports aren't anything new to MHR. It's something that we've been doing for a few years now. So this year we wanted to release our latest report as part of our PayFest celebrations. Yeah. So we're covering, there's a whole host of themes in there, everything from people's career aspirations to how technology is changing the payroll function, and then through to people's attitudes and the reputation of payroll within the organisations.
It's some interesting research because it's quite a large report that can go out, and it should be available from, I believe it's Monday the 2nd, right? As National Payroll Week starts and MHR's PayFest starts. If you register to our festival, you not only get to access all those webinars and podcasts, but you're able to download this on-demand content such as the guides. Yeah. Some of the things that researchers and finds is that there are a lot of kind of interesting topics that we need to look at. So retention and skills gaps is a big one. Can you tell me more about that?
Yeah, so perhaps the biggest thing that we found from the research is that there's a real threat of a skills gap coming to the payroll industry in the next few years. So we dig really deep into the reasons that's coming and what businesses can do to prepare now so that they don't feel the effect of that.
And then also we talk a lot about technology, right? Because we interviewed quite a few payroll professionals on their views on like where they thought technology was going or what the risks were. What were they saying?
Yeah, so we asked people what they thought the biggest technology impacts on payroll had been over the last 5 years, and then we asked the same question but for what people think is the next 5 years. And things like real-time payroll were what people saw in the last 5 years, but that's evolving, and people are expecting the next 5 years that AI and automation are going to have the biggest impact.
Interesting, because it's quite interesting talking to a lot of our kind of product experts or kind of industry experts, and they've told us that huge concerns around kind of the role of AI in terms of replacing people's jobs or making people redundant. But actually, the automation that AI can bring is actually lined up to empower people in the payroll space. They don't need to feel threatened around their job. They need to feel more reassured that actually the role of technology is to empower them and get them to be focused on the things that they're more passionate and offer more value to the business, because those kind of manual, slow, sluggish processes they're having to follow are kind of being unburdened from them by this automation. And actually it's allowing all areas of the business around them to make those questions to AI rather than burden that payroll person. So is that reflected in your research as well?
Yeah, definitely. And another key area that we found was that perhaps shockingly 90% of businesses are still making mistakes every single month. That means people aren't getting paid correctly or paid on time. So the role of AI and automation will help businesses to eliminate those mistakes. So as you say, the people working in the payroll team can focus on other things.
Who would you say this report is more for? Is it for those payroll professionals? Is it for people across businesses generally to understand more about the function?
So I'd say that it will be useful to payroll professionals within a business because they can see what's potentially coming to their industry and how they can prepare themselves for it. But I think it's got a use to everybody within the organisation because it shows the impact that that's going to have across the board, yeah.
And then I suppose the main thing for me is making sure that like people are aware of what we're doing for PayFest, right? So where can you find it? How can people get involved?
So PayFest is across all of our usual channels, so it's on our social media at the moment. You can find the registration on our webpage. So all of next week there's going to be a homepage takeover. So as soon as you land on the website, you'll be served with PayFest. But otherwise, you can find it in our event section on our website from this week.
Brilliant. So yeah, I think it's quite exciting. I think I'm really excited to see it unfold because we've kind of made it our own festival, kind of tongue-in-cheek Glastonbury style thing, right?
Yeah.
You should be able to go into a hub. You're seeing a lineup of acts which are actually our webinars.
Yeah.
You've got supporting acts which are our content. So there's no cost for this, right? This is all completely free.
Yep, it's absolutely free and people only need to register once. So once they've registered, they'll get their access wristband, which is just a virtual wristband that gives them access to the platform. All of the webinars are included in that. And as we said, the downloadable content as well.
Amazing. So if you are interested, I hope you are, because whether you work in payroll or whether you work in HR or you work in any form of the organisation, I think one of the things that our payroll research report highlights is that everyone is impacted by payroll. It's really important. And some of the alarming stats that I found from the guide that we're releasing is that it's a very underrated and undervalued and underappreciated the impact that the payroll has, and we need to shout about it more. So we really hope that next week you join us in celebrating all things payroll at National Payroll Week. Do go onto our MHR website, find us on socials, and get access to our online festival. It costs you nothing, but there you will be given chance to watch live all our webinars, all our podcasts for the next week, and you can watch them on demand after, I believe. Is that right?
Yeah, so we'll make sure they're available afterwards for people who can't, but I think where you can join the live sessions because you'll get the most value.
And that's the only way you're going to get access as well, right? There'll be our payroll research guide there. It'll be released from Monday for those who've registered to the festival, as there's a few more guides. So really exciting. So hopefully next week we'll be back to talk about how it went, and hopefully there'll be quite a few people who have joined to be able to tell us what they think about it. So, okay, yeah, looking forward to it. Thanks for coming in and talking about PayFest.
Thank you.
For those who want to join, again, a reminder that it's all on our website. Make sure you sign up, you get on there, and we'll see you pretty much every day of next week as we host some live events for you. Check it out, and we look forward to seeing you then. Until then, we'll see you next week for the podcast.